If Floyd Mayweather's claims are true, then I truly hope justice prevails in court, and if he's guilty of the accusations, he faces the consequences. However, if he's innocent, I hope he is cleared and exonerated. The most concerning part of his current situation is the ongoing legal battle over his taxes, amounting to nearly $1 million. Just as he was trying to leave the country to escape the controversy surrounding his financial issues, Floyd was apprehended and taken into custody by the FBI. According to Joe Rogan, Floyd Mayweather had been tipped off about an investigation into his tax payments and attempted to flee before things escalated further. Rogan shared details of a report from one of the FBI agents. Mr. Mayweather's presence was required for questioning. We went to his home to get him, but unfortunately, he had already left. We traced him just before his flight was scheduled to take off. Now, we have grounded both of his private jets until our investigation is completed. The situation surrounding Mayweather's taxes is anything but simple. Many believe that his financial issues started when he avoided paying taxes on earnings from years ago, which has now come back to haunt him. Joe Rogan, in discussing the situation, expressed his disappointment in the boxer, admitting that Mayweather owes a hefty sum to the IRS, more than $20 million. Rogan acknowledged that this wasn't necessarily an act of deceit, but rather gross neglect. Floyd, despite his massive wealth, allowed his tax issues to escalate over time, ignoring multiple warnings until it became too big to ignore. Floyd Mayweather's legal issues go beyond just his taxes. His lawyer, when approached by the media, tried to downplay the situation, insisting that Floyd had always been an exemplary sports figure and businessman and that any news of him being involved in financial crimes was false. His lawyer claimed that Floyd was just going through a routine questioning, and the matter would be resolved soon. However, fans were not as convinced. One fan sarcastically commented, "Floyd picked a lawyer just like himself. I don't know who lies better. When he's found guilty and thrown into prison, we won't need this lawyer to mislead us anymore." It wasn't just Floyd's taxes that had caused such a stir. His private jets had reportedly been grounded by the FBI as part of the investigation into his financial dealings. Yet, when his lawyer was asked about this, he flatly denied the claim, saying that the story was just a rumor. Despite these denials, the public had already made up their minds, speculating that Mayweather was using his lawyer to deflect the truth. Some of the controversy surrounding Floyd also stems from his past dealings with the IRS, dating back to a move he made 8 years ago. Back then, Mayweather used a petition claiming his assets were illiquid, which allowed him to delay his tax payments until he received a payout from his August 26, 2017, bout with Conor McGregor. The strategy, according to experts, was risky. It involved stalling tactics, betting that the IRS would take too long to intervene. In hindsight, this was a major mistake, as the IRS was not easily fooled, and Mayweather's failure to resolve the situation earlier only added fuel to the fire. It's important to note that Mayweather's strategy wasn't entirely devoid of logic. According to his lawyer, Floyd was a savvy investor and believed he could make more money by deferring his tax payments until a later time. His investments were reportedly yielding high returns, and paying the IRS immediately would have meant losing out on a much better business decision. The problem, however, was that the IRS doesn't always operate according to logic, and Mayweather's past history with them only made the situation worse. As this story continued to unfold, the controversy around Floyd Mayweather reached new levels. Joe Rogan expressed his shock, noting that this was the first time he had ever been disappointed in the boxer. Mayweather's tax troubles had always been a matter of speculation, but the fact that he owed so much money to the IRS and had neglected to address the issue for so long was a serious concern. Rogan even suggested that the FBI should dig deeper into Mayweather's financial history, as it was clear that this was only the tip of the iceberg. The situation was further complicated by reports that Floyd Mayweather owed a substantial debt in Mexico, stemming from an unpaid appearance fee at a press conference. According to sources, Mayweather had been scheduled to attend a media event but failed to show up, even though he had already been paid $1 million in advance. This led to widespread criticism, with fans and journalists alike questioning his professionalism and integrity. The situation escalated when Floyd deleted all information about the event from his social media accounts, further fueling speculation about his whereabouts and intentions. The Mexican authorities were reportedly disappointed by Mayweather's actions, as his no-show at the press conference had left them in a difficult position. Floyd had been promised to help promote boxing in Mexico, but his failure to fulfill this obligation led to the loss of both money and trust. The situation in Mexico was also linked to Mayweather's ongoing financial troubles, as the boxer's refusal to honor commitments had raised red flags about his overall financial behavior. The backlash surrounding Floyd's absence from the press conference grew even louder when it was revealed that he had been involved in a series of business dealings in Dubai that had gone awry. According to an anonymous former employee, Floyd's issues with Dubai authorities had been ongoing for some time, and he had been attempting to settle his debts by traveling to the city. The employee claimed that Floyd's failure to make good on his promises, including a staged fight that he had promised to bring to Dubai, had worsened his situation. Mayweather had reportedly gambled heavily and lost a substantial amount of money, further exacerbating his financial problems. Despite the mounting evidence of financial mismanagement, Floyd Mayweather tried to maintain a facade of normalcy. He continued to post pictures of his extravagant lifestyle on social media, showcasing his collection of luxury cars and multi-million-dollar properties. However, behind the scenes, things were spiraling out of control. His ex-employee revealed that Mayweather had been trying to sell off his properties in order to cover his growing debts, but federal agents were not making it easy for him. The employee stated, "The situation is getting worse. They're trying to seize everything. Floyd's handling it well, but it's crazy." The financial troubles continued to build as Floyd Mayweather's assets were increasingly targeted by creditors. Reports suggested that federal agents were preparing to seize several of his properties in an attempt to recover the money he owed. His ex-employee described the situation as dire, stating that it was clear Floyd had made some poor financial decisions, and now he was paying the price. Despite his apparent wealth, Mayweather had failed to put aside the necessary funds to cover his obligations, and his lifestyle of excess had caught up with him. Things were further complicated by Floyd's involvement in real estate. The boxer had been involved in the development of several large commercial properties, including one of the tallest buildings in New York City. His ex-employee confirmed that Floyd had 9 skyscrapers in New York alone, but the future of these investments now seemed uncertain. With mounting debts and federal agents closing in, Floyd's ability to continue his business ventures was at risk. As his financial situation continued to deteriorate, Floyd Mayweather's reputation began to take a hit. His lavish lifestyle, once admired by many, was now viewed as reckless and irresponsible. The pressure was mounting, and it seemed like there was no way out. The once unshakable confidence of the boxing legend appeared to be slipping away, and his fans were beginning to question whether he would ever be able to recover from this financial nightmare. Floyd Mayweather's fall from grace was a stark reminder of the dangers of living beyond one's means. While his achievements in the ring were undeniable, his inability to manage his finances has left him in a precarious position. His tax issues, legal troubles, and gambling debts have put him on a path toward potential financial ruin. For a man who once made over $1 billion, it's a sobering reality that not even wealth can protect you from the consequences of poor financial decisions. As the investigation into his finances continues, Floyd Mayweather's future remains uncertain. Will he be able to bounce back from these troubles, or will his financial missteps catch up with him once and for all? Only time will tell.